Coach Bohl, obviously you're building a new program. Where do you see yourself in that process that you have in your head for Wyoming?
Well, I think we're going to be further along this year. We need to be further along. It was quite a bit of re-engineering, a complete change of not only culture but the systems offensively and defensively. I mean, we went from a spread offense and a 3-4 defense to a pro-style offense to a 4-3, different recruiting models. Third year, certainly feel more comfortable. Our players feel more comfortable. I think it's to be noted, the two players that we brought here are both underclassmen now. And while they're good players, we're still young, but we look different. I think we played different this spring. Our depth's not where it needs to be to really be a challenger, but we'll certainly be more competitive.
Is this about where you thought it would be after year 3, Craig? Obviously, you'd like to always have more wins. As any coach, you always want to win more. But is this about where you thought it would be when you took this over?
No, a little bit behind where I thought it'd be. I thought we'd make more progress last year than what had happened. I think it was kind of somewhat of a perfect storm, though. We had an exiting senior class. It was comprised of several junior college players. We had a pretty heavily senior-laden class first year. And then behind that, though, there was a significant drop-off in classes, and we had some attrition. And so as a result, played a lot of young players. And on the forefront, we had a choice to either do a significant amount of junior college recruiting, because once you get in that cycle, you're in that cycle. And so our choice was to either stay with that model or say, no, we're going to go almost strictly with high school players, supplement a little bit with some junior college players. That was a choice, but we're a little bit further behind. Maybe some of it just comes into you spend X number of years as an assistant coach in Nebraska, and then there was X number of years as a head coach at NDSU, and so you don't appreciate the wins as much as they just kind of now all of a sudden you start to appreciate it. And I can tell you this. Rocky Long's a coach, friend of mine in the league and fairly seasoned. He said, what happens is you get a little bit older, the victories don't count as much as the losses. So we need to win some more this year.
Do you feel like you need to change anything schematically?
No, I think we probably need to not redefine, but we need to refortify what we're doing schematically. Some of it comes into just, it's hard to lay a foundation of, when you're running A-gap power, and that sounds like a simplistic play. The fans will say, well, you're just running the ball up the middle. Well, it's a pretty complex play, and all the different looks. Defensively, we had so many freshmen that played last year, so I don't think our schematics, our execution certainly was the issue, and there's some special team issues. Particularly, we got a kicker now, but I don't. Not an overhaul, and that would be, I think, a disastrous move to say, okay, the pro-style system is not working. We need to go back to the spread. We need to go to the 3-4. I think we'd really be taking steps back.
What is your question? What is your impression of your freshman kicker? I know again you have him in the summer. You can't see him.
I can't see him. So I did watch him in high school. I saw him kick the ball out of the end zone every time. And I think he tried to line up and kick a 65-yard field goal that just missed. The other thing that we really like about him, Robert, is, the game I watched, he played corner. He was a skilled player, baseball player. And so to be an excellent kicker, those skill sets to be a competitive athlete in other situations. But, we were terrible last year. And that kind of capped off where we were at. So we're deep.
Coach, have there been any changes to the roster since you in the spring camp?
We may not see Charlie Renfrey back. We'll find out. He may medical. And outside of that, really not anything significant. C.J. Jennings did leave, but I think you noted that. But no, we don't have anything, and there's no players incoming, that we signed or going to show up that are junior college players.
When you're when you look around the league, are there any other programs, maybe, I know like New Mexico, for example, has kind of steadily improved, where you look at the way that they've rebuilt the program in the Mountain West as something to take away from while you're doing that?
Well, I think there's no doubt Coach Davies done a great job there. You know, and they inherited a program when you're trying to, you have any coaching change, you're trying to get your maximum out of your 85 scholarships, and it's almost hard to even get to that point where you have a significant amount of upperclassmen. They've done a good job. You know, I think, you know, a long-term model, which you look at, the job that Utah State did several years ago, you know, they did probably more with less. I had a lot of guys that maybe weren't heavily recruited, but you know, they were a 10-win football team not too long ago, and so I think they've done a good job. And you know, the school I think that's really playing particularly well right now, that's transitioning from a team into a program is San Diego State. You know, different models and different footprint in recruiting, but you look at what's going on in San Diego State right now, I don't think you're going to see the mass swings. You're going to see a program that's on pretty solid ground. And that's a credit to their coaching staff and Coach Long.
What do you think they've done in particular that's allowed them to kind of get on more of an even keel and take it forward?
Well, I think that first of all, you've got a really seasoned, experienced head coach that I think they have an understanding how to blend and play unselfishly. They play a really physical brand of football, and that's one thing that can always, you know, you're going to have ups and downs. They play really stingy defense, and defense is always going to keep you in a game. And they've recruited well, but their brand of football is such that you see a really physical, unselfish, disciplined football team. And the guys who probably covered Mountain West football for years, you know, what you always heard about San Diego State was lots of really good players, but you never knew how they're going to show up on Saturday. These guys are showing up, and so you know, kind of a template for us as well.